Hey, man, it's really. Oh, hey, it's
Yes.
two-man Bodega Nights.
Yes. And I'm Man Martin, and that's Man Joao, and that makes us man too.
What? And it's like what was it? It's really cool, like how through the years the introductory hey has been getting like shorter and shorter. Right?
I
Like
know.
right at the beginning. It's like right at the beginning with Third World Linux. AG and I were like, try to see how long we could get it, more or less.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like after a while, we were just like, hey,
To be fair, I don't do the hey in the other shows anymore. Well, I sometimes do, but not really. Speaking of which, yeah, there will be another recording in for me for 11 hours from now or 10 hours
Right.
from now. I don't know.
and how was the latest up? Who do you have? Who do you have on Third World Gaming this week?
The one that got released the same day as Bodega Nights
No, I mean
Or
like the one
the-
that's going to be coming out. Like,
next week.
yeah,
Well, it's not someone you guys know. It's a friend of mine from the local gaming industry. It's
local
gonna-
gaming industry Philippines, local gaming industry Brazil.
Oh, Philippines, of course.
Oh, okay.
The guys that I met through Ren and Honorico. So
Right.
those guys. So that it's basically that kind of theme I've been doing in Third World Gaming, featuring Critical Index. Like the guys of friends that we've met throughout, the establishment of the site, the people I met through ESGS, through Circle of Friends, through Sexy Pictorials and WhenInManila.com. Yeah, I can finally say that because I'm not associated with WhenInManila.com and not an active writer anymore. So yeah.
Right. But I really want what's her name to be on that show. Like I really want to interview or just talk to and pick the brains of Gia D, the Hearthstone caster.
Do you know Gia D personally, and can you hook us up then? Because I don't know her.
Me? No. But I think does.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he's not even listening here. And if he's listening, I doubt he's gonna check the messages, right? I'm just gonna ask, okay? Whatever.
But yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I'm
really
throwing you
cool.
under
Anyway.
the bus at this 4-minute mark. Whatever. Now we're all good. But yeah, if I were to ask someone, I'll ask. Yeah, not
Right.
sorry. No offense, you're a busy man.
So how's
Anyway.
Brazil been, man? How has Brazil been?
Oh man, we're getting there to the 1 million mark. As of today, oh wow, we're at 850,000 cases, and with 40,000+ deaths. Like, it's a sad thing to see because this country is very beautiful. Like, I'm not saying this because I love Ponce Queso, okay?
Portuguese's right.
But damn it, this place, this country is very beautiful. Beautiful food, good tasting food, mother kick-ass chocolates. The meat is good. Man, the people are friendly, but there's a handful that can be casually racist. But every other part of the world is anyway. So, okay, nothing can be perfect. But yeah, man, it sucks. It just sucks. Like this pandemic, it sucks.
Whoa,
It's
wait,
killing
didn't you have
a very
what?
beautiful country.
850,000 cases.
Cases, yeah,
total?
confirmed. And just like other countries, of course, this is underreported, so we might have hit 1 million already. We don't know yet, and that's the scary part. And the number is big. We can justify and say, well, it's a big land of mass, and I'm like, yeah, but it's
Oh,
still
man.
a scary thought, man.
This brings me this sort of brings me to something that something that like you mentioned last week when we were talking about the anti-terror bill, when you mentioned something about how like the same voices or the same types of voices that now are voicing out extreme criticism against the president are the same sorts of voices that had that sort of sentiment that we need some sort of dictator in the Philippines in order for it to work, right? Like that was something that had been weighing on me for like the week since recording.
Exactly 7
And-
days.
Yeah, and something started something really irked me when I was looking through like social media, right? And there was a lot of talk about land area, right?
What do you mean land
population area? And land area and population of countries and dealing with COVID and whatnot, right? Because something about how like New Zealand did really well, but then people were saying like their population, etc. That, right?
Hold on, but most of them are goats and sheeps, not humans.
Yeah, but
congratulations, guys! Congratulations to New Zealand.
But then something that also started popping up was there have been like 4 countries with 0 cases of zero community transmissions or something in the past like however many days, and those 4 countries were something like, I think they were Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, and Thailand.
Whoa, that's weird.
Right?
Really?
And we are and the Philippines is very often compared to Thailand, right?
Yes, very,
very, very often compared to Thailand, and so like,
wait, that's legit. Hold on, really? Thailand?
Yeah, dude.
Okay,
apparently.
So I guess it's safe to have the new ambassador too.
But then the thing that really bugs me is it isn't ideologically consistent to be praising the leaps and bounds of Thailand in the last like 5 years, while at the same time denouncing martial law, and like sort of the same thing when it comes to the praise of Vietnam, right? Because when you praise Thailand and when you praise Vietnam, you always have to have a little like asterisk that says Thailand was essentially run by a bunch of generals in the last 5 years, which in Filipino translates to martial law.
And Vietnam.
It was only last year, right, that Thailand had its first like election or something in a decade or whatever, or in the past 5 years. And to this day, Vietnam is still a single party state. And they have done some egregious things in terms of things like shutting down freedom of the press, etc., etc., etc. If you look at indicators like the World Democracy Index, it was only like last year or earlier this year that Thailand was actually moved up to being a little bit closer to the Philippines, or to being like closer to the Philippines in this World Democracy indexes or indices that keep on coming up. So, something that really, really, really pisses me off are when people start spewing, when people start spewing praise about like Thailand, Vietnam, and to an extent Singapore, while at the same time saying
Singapore, are they effing serious right now? Singapore's having a hard time on COVID.
I mean, like not because of COVID, but like these super pro democracy types, right? The let's take to the streets, rah rah rah, and make sure we never get martial law in the Philippines ever again. And when I see people like that praise Singapore, Vietnam, and Thailand, I think to myself, these people have never studied history. Or these are the types of people that would only like a dictator if it's a good dictator. And it isn't ideologically consistent. It isn't ideologically consistent to say that the Philippines ought to be like Singapore, minus the thing that made Singapore, Singapore, right?
See, this is why I'm loving what you're reacting to right now.
Right? Namely, the execution of people that were suspected for drugs, right? I mean, it was a summary execution. The judges were simply rubber stamps, which might be worse, which is arguably worse than a cop pulling the trigger on the cop shooting a suspected drug dealer is marginally better than a court rubber stamping a summary execution, right?
The similarities, though, is innocent lives are still lost in the process, and both are still not right. But
yes, but in the case of places like Singapore, where the entire system including the courts. Anyway.
But I'm glad you brought up Singapore because I've took cab rides in Singapore, and when they ask me where I'm from, I say the Philippines, and this was like at the height of the EJ case in the Philippines back in 2018 and 2019. They're asking me, so how do you like this anti-drug thing? Oh, well, there's a lot of killings. Suspected drug dealers get shot. And want to know how they react?
Oh, it's pretty just like when we were kids. Did they say like, oh yeah, that's just like when we were kids when Lee Kuan Yew was running the show, except instead of gunshots, it was hangings.
Now for them, it's like it's the best thing to happen because they actually think that the jails are overcrowded in the country. They're actually right. And like, wow, so they're more pro. But there's still human rights violations here. But this is the first world country that most of us aspire to be, saying that it is the right thing. Well, the people I talk to, and I don't agree on that, but that's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah, so that's sort of it's. I'm always skeptical when people point to Singapore and other Asian tigers and their sort of rise to economic prosperity, because anybody that has studied any sort of Asian history will know that the meteoric economic rise of a lot of these countries happened in sort of direct contradiction to these ideals of liberal democracy that we supposedly hold so dear in this country.
If they want to compare countries, they could have
inconsistency.
Yeah, if they wanted to compare countries, compare it to New Zealand. There, easy.
Right.
But no, it has to be Southeast Asian. And the problem is, I think, yeah, you're right. No one seems to remember history. Like in 2016, they're like, I wish I could have voted for Miriam even though she died. That's just 4 years ago.
Oh,
do you guys remember who she's running with? Do you?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, wasn't it? Do you still remember who Miriam Defensor Santiago, running for president, was running with as her vice president?
Bongbong Marcos, diba?
Yes. And the anti-DDS are most of those who don't like the admin said they could have voted for her, who had a running mate who's Bong effing Marcos, who, by the way, back in 2001 was one of the people who did not vote during the impeachment of then President Erap Estrada to open the second envelope, thus spurring EDSA DOS. The same person who ran against FVR and was already touted to win. However, I heard she lost through dubious means, but at the same time, there's the same lady who was suspected to have mad cow disease. Yes, Joao, I'm pretty sure
the 90s were a great time, weren't they?
Many people read history because even now some people heroically praise people who crash into five-star hotels in Makati, send a tank, and destroy a part of, I think, was that Dusit Thani or Peninsula Hotel lobby?
Peninsula, yeah.
Just because he's against the admin right now. And let me remind you, in the last administration, he was the person who was talking to China for the West Philippine Sea.
He was. I remember that.
So I can count a lot of things as to why people here who are thinking they're so pro-democracy can't even remember their history lessons. That's not even in the past 10 years. It's just in the past 5 years. Yeah.
Right, to be fair.
It's annoying.
And what's his name? Did that twice, right? Like during the
second
government
time
of Arroyo, right? Like twice.
Yeah, the second time was in the Peninsula thing. The first time was in Oakwood. You know, had he done it like a half day later, we would have been stuck there because the plan was we were heading there for breakfast. So F you, I'm not even gonna name you.
Man, it would have been really funny, like if he actually managed to take over and we pulled a Thailand. And we were ruled by like a military junta. How do you pronounce that? That's pronounced junta, right? Like Junta?
I wouldn't have preferred that. I mean, as corrupt as that administration was, way better than the last two in the current one.
Yeah. But, thinking about it, man, like if we really wanted to be like Thailand, that would have been the thing to do. Like, overthrow the government and have martial law. But then martial law for somebody that you like. But then martial law with somebody that you actually like leading. I'm pretty sure that would have made, these types of voices, happy.
Nah, they'll still bitch, piss, and moan like I would. Because that's not liberty. Liberty is me here dissing the government. Just kidding. Criticizing those kinds of moves. Not censored here at a site that gets less than 50 to 40 listens, right? So yeah, I'd rather enjoy this until we can. Well, that was dark. Anything lighter? Like, I don't know. Like that thing in America, it's actually a bit progressive. So good job to the progressive Americans who have made Seattle or part of Seattle a free state. Apparently there's no cops and now they can't even grow crops. Congratulations to you guys.
Oh, that's
and congratulations to the leader there who is now suspected as a homophobe because of his past tweets. That's similar to a past tweet of a actor from The Flash. Same week too, apparently.
Man, America's a really weird place, huh?
I know. I mean, it's like that's the West, the white Americans who mostly might have done the woke culture thing to do it against them is ironically, yeah, America. Though it sucks because I really miss going there too. Like, I was supposed to be there this November, but I don't know if that's allowed now due to, travel restrictions this year in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's all right, dude. How long are you assigned in Brazil? Like 6 years, right?
If I'm lucky and if I don't screw up midway, 6 years.
That's pretty cool. So like I have 6 years to save up for a trip to
don't.
What's it? Brasilia.
Like I said, you could save more money and just go to America. It's more cheaper.
Yeah, but like I've been to the US and we
can meet halfway.
The US. It's like, okay, the US.
There's nothing here except ponche queso and good meats.
Is that not worth it?
Actually, that is worth it. What am I saying?
Flying halfway across the world. Flying halfway across the world for ponche queso. And
their brigadeiros here, man. The brigadeiros, like their chocolate bonbons here, they're amazing.
That's I don't know, man. Like, just like skip. That'd be such a dumb thing to do, though. Like, skip going to like Rio de Janeiro and just go straight to Brasilia.
Well, you're safer here in Brasilia than in Rio and Sao Paulo. So yeah, that's a smart
did
move.
You go to? And then they start mentioning all of like the touristy places. Like, nope. I went to a city that.
Nope.
I went to a city that looks like a bird.
Hey, at least you're least likely to get shot here or mugged. So yeah.
But yeah, the touristy place. Like, I would assume that the touristy parts of like Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro aren't very dangerous. Like, they're not going to take you into the favelas and stuff.
Yeah, just steer clear and be cautious.
I would imagine, like, the touristy part of, like, the big cities in Brazil are sort of like hanging out in, like, Makati and Fort Bonifacio. And you're not heading into, like, Tondo.
I hope so. I haven't been there except the airport at Rio.
All right.
But yeah, aside from plans, I really hope I can go to America because PS5 is confirmed already. No?
Right, and
they
like,
have
taxes,
cheap laptops.
And taxes on electronics in Brazil are pretty high, right? Like, I remember reading that some time ago.
I think I linked that to you guys. That's why I say this is why I'm bringing my PS4, guys.
Or what about like other South American countries? Like
Argentina, Chile. I don't know. Maybe not. I didn't check.
But then you're in the middle of Brazil. But say, like, for example, I don't know, like, head over to like Peru or something.
Oh man, I wanted to go to Peru when it was hosting APEC.
Right? Or like,
remember, Peru. You watch South Park, right?
Yeah.
Peruvian flute band.
Flute band.
Yeah, flute band. The one that like calms that monster ass gerbil.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, man.
Or dude, Letongue, that guy who did the parody of the Linkin Park songs.
Yeah, so like
he's Peruvian.
Had to I don't know, Peru or Venezuela or one of those other countries that like share a land border with Brazil and get your PS5 there. But then I wouldn't know what the taxes there are like. So.
I'd rather go to America where I know it's pretty cheaper.
Right, but would the trip like offset the taxes?
Not really. It's still cheap when you calculate it, man.
you get to hang out with like friends and family in the US, I guess.
Yeah, it's and since I said Thanksgiving, you know what my target there is, right?
To get trampled during Black Friday.
No, of course you buy it online. Just pick it up at your relative's house.
Right.
But man, happy belated Independence Day. You know what? This COVID robbed me of being busy this week and last week. Because Independence Day is, if you're working at the place I'm working at, is a very big deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I would know. Like, I grew up abroad, and Independence Day was always like a big thing for the Filipino communities abroad, you know?
Yeah. So now it's a virtual thing, and it's kind of cool. So the last time when we were having our Barkada chat at the Google Meet, we were actually pre-taping our stuff. So thank you, social media, and thank you, planned Facebook posts.
Oh man, that's so cool. What's it? My little brother's girlfriend went to Harvard for her master's degree. And earlier this month, I think, or like last month, they had a virtual commencement ceremony.
Wait, and didn't we talk about that?
I'm not sure. Might have been during...
Thursday. Yes.
Yeah. So
sorry.
It might have been during
sorry,
that talk
guys.
or whatever. But we weren't recording it, huh?
Yeah, we weren't recording that.
I was having a glass of wine while talking about the virtual commencement of my little brother's girlfriend. And I really want to replicate that. I really want to replicate that for the school that I teach at, like, for a reputable educational institution, because our kids didn't have a graduation ceremony. So, like, I'd really like to have something like that where we take, like, speeches from, I don't know, different administrators and, like, the school president, the principals, and then after that we, like...
Oh, man.
Have, like, a slideshow with the kids' faces on it.
Yeah.
Right?
I like that.
And then just premiere it somewhere and have everybody, like, watch it at the same time, you know?
Yeah, on Facebook Live, right?
I wouldn't do that because that would open it up to things like sharing, which I don't particularly think would be a good thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
What was it? The thing that they did over at Harvard was they created like a separate page on their website that was just about the commencement, right? And I could totally do that on the school's website. Yeah, embed a YouTube live video, set up like a Discord server or something for everybody to be able to interact with one another, and you know, that would be really cool. But I don't know.
It's pretty cool, man. Like the COVID thing, the pandemic, us staying indoors actually helped content for Channel 14. Like, this ain't happening much before. Like, outside of this, like this Saturday night thing for me and Sunday morning for you. This is the only thing that might have been more consistent even with or without COVID. But like the Third World Gaming guestings, I couldn't do that anymore because I'm not in Manila and I can't go face to face with the interviewee. But since the advent of people realizing, oh hey, we can do Zoom, oh hey, we can do Skype, hey, new content stuff.
Yeah, so this is our time to shine.
Like, more people need more content, so you know, here we are. if you're actually listening, if you guys don't feel bad, don't feel pissed that we're anti your side of the politics, don't worry. We hate the other side too, okay? Really hate them with a passion. We're just annoyed at you guys right now in this episode. Just annoyed.
That's so true, though. Like,
it's better annoyed than hating, okay? Because we actually talk about annoying.
Man, that's something that I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I don't like any of them.
Actually, that's the best thing. Like, some people say F centrists, but dude, if you're a centrist, you can make fun of both sides. That's more material. Yeah. No?
We hate everybody. We hate everybody here.
It's like equal hate or equal annoyance. And since now I'm all alone here in the other side of the globe with no friends and family, I think this is the only time I can vent out on air.
Man,
it's
that's really
sad. It's good.
There's something else that I want to pick up on from last week, dude. It's really sad that like you landed in Brazil just as the COVID thing was taking off. Like,
actually, this is a good timing. Had I left in March, I would never have been here. I'd be stuck in the...
Yeah, but, like, what's it? It's
ironic.
You haven't been able to, like I said, you haven't been able to, like, immerse yourself in whatever the culture is there. And, like, the only real people that you get to, like, hang out with are
a couple of my workmates who are there sometimes in the office. The person at the lobby. Sometimes I like the person at the lobby, but 50% one is a prick. Just like, it's that. Oh, and the store behind me that sells Ponce queso.
Yeah, but like, what's it in my experience, right? Like, in my experience, friendships and stuff are usually formed when you hang out in like meat space, right? Like after work, hey, I want to go have a drink, or hey, let's have dinner, right? But then you don't have that, like entering or going to a new place, right? Usually you want to try to get into like, I don't know, social groups and stuff, but it seems like they've all sort of been suspended. So,
and I don't want to do it because COVID.
Yeah,
actually, I don't mind yet. Because it's year one. It's not hitting me yet.
Yeah.
Or if it is, I don't notice it. I don't feel it yet.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't know what I would... Well, actually, I do exactly what you're doing. Record podcasts.
Yeah. Like, this is what I do. Record podcasts. Maybe in between, like, hang some clothes to dry after, washing them by hand while recording on a podcast. There are things I can do now, ramp up, make myself productive. Because if we're not doing this, if we're not doing that other project we're trying to do, it's just me watching all the series I'm trying to binge watch on, eating myself fat. I'm still doing the eating myself fat thing. I don't know, constantly, unconsciously, because this whole pandemic thing is giving you and everyone else anxiety, myself included. Speaking of series, I've finished like the latest series of Legends of Tomorrow. Joao, do you know the famous rapper known as Cisco?
The 90s were a great time, weren't they?
Yes. If you like his song, the Thong Song, I would most definitely want you to watch the latest season of Legends of Tomorrow. At least the last episode of it.
Huh. It's one of those things, like the whole Arrowverse is something that I really should be watching, but I really haven't.
It took me like a lot of years to catch up. I just caught up 2017 or 18 because I had a free iFlix account. Uh-huh. So I watched them. Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 sucked balls. But
okay.
Half of Season 2 onwards is funny. Because the Arrowverse, let's see, Arrow's already cancelled. It just ended after, the big ending of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
So it was Arrow first, then The Flash, then Supergirl, Andor Legends of Tomorrow, and then there's the Batwoman thing. And then sometimes there's Black Lightning. What can I say? Out of all the shows, if you want to watch a series that doesn't take itself too seriously, watch Legends of Tomorrow. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously, so you don't have high expectations of it being so consistently, riveting, or don't need to have good storytelling. It's just there to have some fun. Basically, it's the Jobber Talk of Channel 14. It's like a Jobber Talk April 1st episode most of the time.
Huh. I don't know, man. I just sort of gave up on the Arrowverse, like, after the second season of The Flash or something.
Wait, what? Oh, Earth 2? That was okay. It's not as bad as season 3. 5 was good. I like 5.
Yeah. I don't know.
Preference. What?
In other words, it has been such a long time.
But the quarantine gives me enough time. Speaking of Flash, I'm watching it right now, season 6. I'm trying to catch up.
Are they going to get a movie?
They always get crossover, so I doubt they'll get a movie.
That way it can be 6 seasons in a movie?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, basically
they had 6 seasons, right? The Flash.
Mm-hmm. The 6th season had a season ender, but that wasn't the planned season ending because of COVID. But that's the last episode they'll have for season 6 because of the whole pandemic.
All right. Huh.
It sucks, but that's what happens. Speaking of the CW, the Arrowverse, it's quite frankly the only thing I like about DC. I never got behind their movies except the Christian Bale Batmans, or the Batman versus Superman was I don't know. Huh?
What's it?
It's weird. How do I say this? I like the Marvel Universe movies. I'm not a big fan of their TV series. I'm not a big fan of DC movies, but I am a big fan of their series.
Yeah. What's it is really good. A lot of the DC animated stuff has always been really good. Maybe with the exception of, like, a couple of the ones in the past 5 years, but for the past 10 years, I don't know. But the animated stuff of DC is just so good. It's superior to, like, everything, But, like, the thing about DC movies is we're gonna get the Snyder Cut, like, finally. And
why does it sound like it's a German cut? You know that cut?
What?
When you say Snyder Cut, like, what? You mean the German cut? Can they say the Snyder version? Like, it sounds less awkward, or it's just me. And it's because, like, summer is still happening in the Philippines, or summer is hitting America now. So, you know what I'm thinking. Summer season for boys who are in their puberty, you know what season that is too.
But, like, did you watch the extended edition, or, like, the director's cut or whatever of Batman vs. Superman?
No, I don't have the time to. Or care.
It's like 3 hours long or something. But apparently it was much better. And
why? The guns became walkie-talkies? Or the guns became walkie-talkies?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. But it's supposedly really good. That's why I was asking you. I think Bok would be a really good person to ask about this.
Oh yeah, is he a DC guy? I never remember.
I don't know, but I remember, like, when BVS, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, when that film first came out, I remember, like, us on it in the group chat. And then a couple of weeks later, or whatever, months or whatever it was, Bok mentioned that he had watched the extended edition or whatever, because that's the sort of thing that he likes to do, right? Like Lord of the Rings, that's his jam, the extended edition. And he said it wasn't bad. Like, the theatrical release was a dumpster fire, but the way it was quote unquote originally intended by Zack Snyder was much better. And what I'm hoping for is that when they do the same with Justice League, which apparently they're going to be releasing as, like, 6-parter or something on Warner Brothers streaming service. Like, I'm hoping they do the same thing, at least make it better, because I was so disappointed with Justice League, It felt too Marvel.
Oh man, I feel bad. I never watched Justice League. I only saw it in HBO while I was flipping through channels. Like there was some weird bug alien things. Is that it?
It wasn't
enemy.
It wasn't great. Like what happened there was a lot of negativity around Zack Snyder, right? Because he was being all like dark, and this was during the height of the wave of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where everybody was like, "Oh, comic book movies should be light," and all of that sort of thing. And so Zack Snyder was essentially fired. What happened was he had sort of family tragedy, like his daughter died or something, and he took some time off. And then while he was taking some time off, I think whoever was in charge of Dan DiDio, I don't know, one of those guys, Jeff Johns, might have been Jeff Johns, I don't know, but whoever it was, Jeff Loeb, well, whoever it was, then hired Firefly guy to come in and punch up the script. Joss Whedon. Hired Joss Whedon to come in and finish Zack Snyder's movie, and it wasn't great, you know.
But it's Whedon.
So there, yeah, dude. Joss Whedon, like you can feel Joss Whedon's fingerprints all over the theatrical cut of Justice League, and it was rather disappointing.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm glad I didn't watch it then.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, right? That's the thing. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't Justice League, you know? Because the Justice League has the big three, dude. It's got Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, right? And
don't they have him?
You know, it's got to be, right? The Justice League had to be something like huge, something that would redefine cinema, you know?
Well, I got to see Flash from that Justice League because he was in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, he made a huge cameo meeting Flash, Barry Allen of the CW universe.
What? Hello?
Yeah. You know the Flash actor who was in Justice League?
Man, what's his name? Yeah,
he made an appearance in Arrowverse, meeting
Ezra Miller.
Flash of that one. Yeah, Ezra Miller made a huge guest appearance in that one, the huge crossover Crisis on Infinite Earths that also had Burt Ward.
Yeah, dude. But like my big like dream for my big dream for like all of those DC shows and all of that was for them to do like Crisis on Infinite Earths. To do like a crisis event that spanned across the entire live action line, which would include the movie universe and when Gotham was still a thing. Like to have a crisis event that sort of encompassed that entire range of DC's live action. That would have been so cool. I mean, they tried to do that in the Arrowverse, but it wasn't as grand or epic as, you know, or it wasn't as grand or epic to, how do I put this? It didn't deserve the name Crisis on Infinite Earths.
For me, they did what they can, because budget, time, I mean, you can't get Adam West anymore, rest his soul. They got Tom Welling. That was a big get. I was impressed they got him. The Smallville guy.
I don't know.
They couldn't get Lex Luthor from Smallville because of some creative reasons, but had they gotten it, I'd be happy already. I was happy already with the finished product. Like, I didn't like the fact that someone had to die, but okay.
Yeah, but...
Like, by die, I mean in character, in that story. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's not as big as a disappointment as Captain America Civil War when you read Civil War comic book.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, if you compare that to Civil War, I'm like, hands down, Civil War kind of under-delivered in terms of Team Cap versus Team Iron Man when there could have been more heroes in that movie. But it's a 2 to 3 hour movie, again, and budget, and, you know, all that.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it.
But, you know, like, just saying, to call something Crisis on Infinite Earths, I don't know. It was like when I was reading about it as it was coming out, it was like, okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure that for somebody watching the show, that's going to be quite epic. But if you want to get somebody like really hyped, dude, like Avengers MCU hype, dude. Freaking Crisis on Infinite Earths involving all of their live action. They should have called they should have called it Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
You know, make Jeff Johns happy.
Now that you mention it, yeah, it would have been cool if you see Christian Bale Batman there. But
right?
We got the next best thing. Like, you got the live version of Kevin Conroy. The voice of 90s Batman was actually there in one episode as Batman. I didn't know that's how he looked. So like, oh, that's how he looks? Oh, man.
He looks like he could play... he looks like Batman. He could play like old the Batman. Scarecrow. You know? Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, that too, actually. Yeah. I mean... I was hoping they'd get Mark Hamill because he's been on Flash for a lot of times already. That would have been cool.
And have him do the Joker?
A Mark Hamill Joker. Because he's been there as the Trickster. Because he was playing the Trickster in the very original Flash series, live action, in the 90s. But they did have the Flash there a lot, the old one, because he was Barry's dad in the story of the Arrowverse. And in a certain reality, he's Jay Garrick, who's also Flash. So Flash playing as a new kind of Flash in a new Flash series in a new universe. And he also, actually, Crisis on Infinite Earths, the one before that, Crisis on Earth something, that universe's Flash did make an appearance and he did disappear. So there's really like a tie-up to that one.
Yeah.
So I appreciate their attempts. That's the most ambitious thing you can do in a serialized TV series. Because, broadcasting rights, actors, fees and whatnots, Yeah. It's like, it's a way better crossover than any Power Rangers thing they tried to do.
Well,
I mean, I'm still miffed about that.
Setting the bar very high by, Power
Saban Entertainment, yeah, that's true. I mean, the biggest get they got was like when they finally convinced Tommy to return for that episode as Green Ranger. So that was crossovers. Speaking of crossovers, hey, how's Class Record? Are you guys doing well? Or
I haven't released an episode
blended
in like
learning
a month.
Is kind of hard. Is it because of you guys too busy doing the curriculum because of the whole online thing, online teaching?
Yeah, and like we really don't have very much common time.
Common time,
right?
Yeah, that's hard too.
And the last time that we recorded, like I wasn't a big fan of the way the recording turned out. So
was it Skype?
Yeah, but like
it was, I know what you mean.
It was a bit awkward, The content was like a bit.
So, Joao, have you found a goat head yet? I can't find one here.